Sleep Token is edging fans again. Linkin Park dropped a new song with a little bit of a bummer news underneath. An SNL musical guest walked off stage. All that on this week's episode of The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, come on. What else are you going to listen to? It's the only podcast about music. I checked. Also, there's going to be a Q&A at the end, so it's going to be a good time on The Jesea Lee Show. Oh. God, I am so good at guitar. All right, so first order of business is where have I been? What have I been up to? Where has the Jesea Lee Show been? If you're new around here, first of all, welcome. Make sure to bang your head on that subscribe button and follow button wherever you're consuming this podcast at. But if you're new here and you don't really care about the past, none of this makes any sense to you, you don't care about what happened before, then go ahead and skip forward to the Sleep Token news, Linkin Park news. I've got it time-stamped below. But for returning friends, for my fellow followers of the Music News Daddy, you're wondering where the show's been. I haven't posted an episode on here since December of last year, my last interview with Finn McKenty. And the reason is this is going to be a guitar channel now. I'm just going to play guitar, lots of covers every day. I'm going to do tutorials. Dude, how bad would that be? I am so very painfully mediocre at guitar. For someone who's been playing, I don't know, like 25 years or something at this point. Way too long to be as bad as I am at it. I mean, I don't play consistently anymore. But no, it's not going to be a guitar channel. It's going to be an extension of what I'm doing on TikTok and Instagram already. My music news, updates, some more evergreen, I guess you would call it, pieces where we do like top 10 countdowns and things like that of nature. But mostly it's going to be focused on music news. The reason behind this is really simple. I was doing the podcast in the interview style there for a while, having guests on talking. And it got hard to stay consistent doing it every week, because like a guest would cancel or I would have to cancel. There's something would happen and the guest wouldn't happen that week. And then I have no episode that week. And I hated going a week because like the worst thing you can do when creating content is to start taking too many breaks, because once you take one break, it becomes easier to take a second break. And like, I'm kind of feeling shitty this week. I don't feel like doing it. So I think I want to do this kind of format so that I can consistently put up an episode each and every week with you guys. But there still will be interviews. Don't worry. I'm still going to be doing interviews on this channel. I'm going to have those sprinkled in here as well. So if you are a fan of that content and you hate this idea, don't worry. It's going to be a little bit of, a little bit of both. A little bit of something for everyone to either make them happy or a little bit of something to piss everyone off, Actually, I am going to be seeing Daughtry and Johnny Hawkins from Nothing More tonight. They're in town, so hopefully grab an interview with those guys and have that up this week. But on to our first topic at hand. Sleep Token. Again, edging fans. Oh my God. They can't stop. It's like, it's become adult Blues Clues around here, man. It's every day you turn around, there's a new thing with Sleep Token where it's like, ooh, are we about to get something? Are we about to? No, we're not. It's more puzzles. Last February they lost their website with the puzzle, and you put it all together. It was all these like falling letters. Orchestrate them and put them together. Is showmehowtodanceforever.com was the website they launched. And you went to it. You had to do this puzzle. And then you got sorted into one of these two houses, the House Viridian or the Feathered Host. And I was calling them houses, like Harry Potter houses. But then a lot of people got mad at that. A lot of people don't like the comparisons of Sleep Token to Harry Potter. But to be fair, we're all in a cult now. We're all accidentally in a Sleep Token cult. We didn't even realize it. We've been following this music for so long, listening to it for so long that we've accidentally all ended up in a Sleep Token cult. So whatever you want to call it, these people were sorted into one of two houses, and then they had to put their email address in. And then these people who've solved the puzzle and got the clues and everything, they got an email from a mysterious email address with a link to go download some sheet music. Now, first of all, I didn't do any of this. This all sounded like a lot of work. And plus, by the time, the news got out about it, people had already solved it and had already posted online. So it really wasn't much of a point. But also, I feel like I don't want Sleep Token knowing that much information about me. They know enough about me. They know I'm willing to do a lot of weird stuff to listen to their music. I don't need them to have my, access to my personal information. I don't even know what Sleep Token looks like. All right. I don't even know what their face looks like. And they want my email address? Come on, man. Also, side note, this whole music thing doesn't work out for them. If it ever implodes for a reason, they would have a great career in cyber crimes, because people are just voluntarily handing over their email addresses and and clicking on mysterious links and emails from unknown senders. So after all the puzzles are solved, everyone gets their emails and everything, we get the first single, Emergence, and we find out that is the first track off their upcoming album, Even in Arcadia, dropping on May 9th. And the Emergence single artwork matches up to the House Viridian, one of those first two houses we talked about. Now the second house, Feathered Host, that has a different cover, and there's no single with that yet. Cut to this past week, beloved meteorologist and metalhead fellow Sleep Token fan Chris Michaels, who has gone viral a bunch of times for sneaking metal lyrics into forecasts. It's a really great, really nice little nod to metalheads out there that I feel like goes over 90% of the people watching local news, especially the local news weather part. But yeah, it's always a good haha on social media. So somehow he gets involved with Sleep Token, and he posts a video of him sitting at his news desk with the Sleep Token logo behind him, with just the song Emergence playing, just ominously playing in the background. Chris just smirking at the camera like, well, what's about to happen here? And then it says prepare for 3/29. The date, 3/29. Well, we're all very, very excited about that. Very excited about the date, 3/29. Everyone set their clocks to 3/29 with a set alarm. Cancel your plans. Not going to work today. Got a baby shower? Nope. Birth of the child? Nope. 3/29 is blocked off for Sleep Token fans. 3/29 comes around. Chris Michaels posts another video, and this time he says the story is developing. More Emergence song playing in the background. He says prepare for 3/31. So at this point, it's been an announcement of an announcement. That's very upsetting. Nobody likes to have an announcement of an announcement. But 3/31, that's our new date. 3/31, 8 a.m. Eastern. 3/31 today, as I'm recording this, Monday, March 31st. 8 a.m. Chris Michaels posts a third video, and this third video is again a newscast. I'm just going to play it for you here.
Throughout the week, developing starting Monday.
Look at this time of year, days like Wednesday in Clayton
this is
or
Chris
Friday
watching
in Durham
his own
and Goldsboro,
newscast.
That's your average last freeze. So a good time to maybe plan to return to the garden, but to actually do some planting. Some of you have said you actually wait until Mother's Day.
So he says this is a good time to plan to return to the garden. He makes sure to really enunciate plan. It's a good time to plan to return to the garden and do some planting. And then, of course, it cuts to this video where it says plan, in parentheses, T, April 2nd, 8 a.m. Eastern. So, does that mean April 2nd, we're getting a song called Plan? Is that what that means? All I know is what it means for Sleep Token fans is they're very annoyed by this adult Blues Clues we're playing, because now this has now been an announcement of an announcement of an announcement. April 2nd. I feel bad for Chris Michaels in this situation because he got roped into doing this little scavenger hunt with Sleep Token because he clearly loves Sleep Token. He's done videos about them before in the past. He's posted about them. He just wanted to be in on the fun. I don't know if he knew that he was signing up for 3 videos. They're essentially edging Sleep Token fans, and now his comment section is starting to get a little angry. I've been looking at it. People are not very happy with the fact that Chris has not delivered the goods. No fault of his own, by the way. This is not he's not doing this. Chris isn't like, what'd be funny? If we really messed with people, if we really got him going, get him all riled up for no reason. Somebody commented and said, I'm starting to think that he's doing this for clout. He doesn't actually have anything to do with the band. And Chris actually responded to this. He said, I've stayed quiet on these comments for a while, but do you guys actually think that I/my news station would tarnish our own credibility and that the label would allow me, the band and label would allow me to just clout bait and clickbait? That's a great point. Anyone that thinks this is BS, that Chris is just doing this, for ha-has, the label and the band would have shut this down. It's gotten so big. The news has gotten out there so much. Even though Sleep Token isn't promoting this with Chris, they're being tagged and everything. And if they wanted to shut this down and squash it, they would. I guess there's a possibility they would leave it up just because it builds more hype and anticipation. But I think, leading fans that far off the path and especially using like specific like dates and alleged song titles, I think that would be a little bit too much. So I do believe Chris is actually involved in it. And plus, like I said, I've been following him for a while. We've chatted before. He's a great guy. I don't think he would be doing this to mess with fans. I think he's legitimately a Sleep Token fan that got pulled into doing this like little content piece for everyone. And I don't know if he knew how far he was going to go. I don't know if he expected to get all this heat. No, he just wants to talk about the weather. He's a weatherman. He's a meteorologist who just happens to love metal. So don't come for Chris. That's all I'm getting at here. Don't hate on Chris. And I guess we all have to practice some patience. All right. April 2nd is the new date where we're going to possibly get a song called Plan or Plant. I don't know. Is it going to be connected to that second Sleep Token house, the Feathered Host house? I don't know. I almost don't care. Honestly, at this point, I almost don't. I'm kind of like, as much as I love Chris and I love all the puzzles and the teasing and everything, I don't know. I'm kind of like, all right, let me know. Wake me up when new Sleep Token drops, essentially. I'm kind of over at this point, but let me know what you think in the comments if we're getting something new. If you're watching this after April 2nd, then you already know what happened. And so leave your grievances below. Yeah. All right, so next order of business, Linkin Park dropped a new song called Up From The Bottom, which turntablist Joe Hahn said might be the best. No, he didn't say might. I'm sorry. I got to quote him warmly and accurately. In his opinion, it is the best Linkin Park song they've ever made. I really hope the tables do not get turned on Joe for making such a bold statement. Bold statement. Anyway, I had a clip of him saying it because a lot of people said that when he said this, when Joe said it was their best song they've ever made, a lot of people said that, he was joking when he said it. But here's the clip of him saying it from the Billboard interview, red carpet interview.
I mean, you guys have a new single dropping.
Yeah, next week on the 27th. It's a song called.
What can you tell us about it?
In my opinion, it's the best song we've ever made.
I love that everybody agreed, by the way.
I mean, they're smiling, so I guess it could be a joke. It could be, it could be. But also, I think maybe he was just saying it was the best song that version of Linkin Park has made. He's not saying it's the best Linkin Park song of all time. I feel like he's saying it's just the best Linkin Park song that they've made in their current form, with Emily Armstrong on vocals.
In my opinion, it's one of the best videos we've ever had.
Okay, what's going on in the music
Mike
video?
Mike says it's one of the best videos they've ever had.
So give us some teaser, man.
I mean,
a little something.
Johan can't
I can
really
tell you,
describe the
but
video.
it's not going to make sense until you watch it. But it's like a little bit mind-bending, a little. I don't know. It has to do with the song, but if you haven't heard the song yet, then you won't really get it.
But nobody knows it. Nobody knows the song yet. Nobody knows. They know like one line of lyrics.
Right. At this point, only one line of lyrics had been teased out. Okay, here was a line of lyrics. At this point, this was the only line of lyrics they had teased out.
Sometimes it feels like
Fans believe. All right, now I allege that maybe they were recording possibly a commercial, a spot for an ad read. Maybe I thought this was the full line.
sometimes it feels like
nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
That was not the case, unfortunately. They were not recording that. It turned out to be a new song, but a great song, Up From The Bottom, which is out now. And they announced that they're releasing a deluxe version of their album From Zero on May 16th. So that, is going to also feature Up From The Bottom as a new song, which they wrote for this deluxe version. A lot of times bands release deluxe versions of albums and it ends up being just like a bunch of B-sides, songs that didn't make the cut the first time around. Like, well, here's the rest. Here's the crap that we didn't think was good enough to put out the first time. Here's the deluxe. But not Linkin Park. They actually wrote this song for this deluxe version. And there's going to be 2 other songs on the record as well. I don't know if those are going to be brand new songs that they wrote or if they were aforementioned B-sides. I don't know. We'll find out when it comes out. But on the day that this is announced, on the day that they release the new song Up From The Bottom, they announced that they're moving their Los Angeles show from Dodger Stadium. They had a Dodger Stadium Los Angeles show with Queens of the Stone Age happening in September. They moved it to the Inuit Dome in Inglewood, California. And also, Queens of the Stone Age dropped off. They've been replaced with JPEG Mafia. Now, Intuit Dome is dope. It's a rad venue. WWE just did Monday Night Raw, the very first ever Monday Night Raw on Netflix. They did it on Intuit Dome. I mean, that's It's a very big venue. So let's see what the capacity is on that real quick. Intuit Dome is 18,000 people. So it's not like a small venue. But compared to the Dodger Stadium capacity is 56,000. So 56,000 versus 18,000. It's quite a big jump. It's quite a big difference. So a lot of fans are speculating that the band wasn't selling enough tickets for the stadium, which sounds shocking. I mean, it's Linkin Park. They've been selling out every date they've announced. I know it's, 56,000 stadium show is a lot to ask for, but I don't know. I don't think that's the reason. I don't know for sure, of course, but it just seems like the hype and the demand for Linkin Park is pretty high still. I would be surprised if they couldn't sell out the stadium on their own. But the fact that they moved to the Intuit Dome and then Queens of the Stone Age dropped off for maybe they didn't want to play at the Dome, or maybe it was maybe that was part of their financial decision. A lot of artists and bands have been canceling tours for low ticket sales in the past year. It's become sort of a trend. The Black Keys had to cancel their whole tour because they weren't selling enough tickets for the big arenas they were doing. J-Lo famously had to cancel her entire tour because she wasn't selling tickets. Gene Simmons just postponed 17 dates of his solo tour, although that has not been confirmed whether ticket sales were the reason or not. But, that's what a lot of people are alleging. Again, they've been posting screenshots of the ticket sales before the dates were postponed. So I don't know. It could be a situation where Linkin Park was not selling enough tickets for a stadium and they had to move it to the Dome. People that did buy these tickets to the stadium, though, have first chance at the Intuit Dome tickets. All the tickets sold for the stadium, for the Dodger Stadium show, have been canceled, money returned, and people who bought the stadium tickets have first crack at the Dome tickets, which does kind of suck, because you know what those queues are like. You know how hectic and just degrading Ticketmaster queues can be, how frazzled you get in those. You went through it once to get your Linkin Park tickets. Now you gotta go through it again. Yeah, you got first dibs on it, but you and so do all the other thousands of people that bought the stadium tickets. And what if you don't get as good of seats as you had at the stadium? What if you had front row stadium seats and now you have to get second row Dome seats? Oh, I'm so sorry for you. What a sad day for you as a Linkin Park fan. But let me know, are you planning on going to the Dome show with Linkin Park? And if you had tickets to the stadium show, are you pissed or do you not care? All right, so one more quick piece of business here we're going to talk about is Morgan Wallen. He walked off stage at SNL, at the end of SNL. He was a musical guest. And I know, I get it. Morgan Wallen's not rock music. He's country. Why am I talking blah, blah, blah? But you know what? I'm not going to put limitations on this new version of the Jesea Lee Show, okay? It's going to be a free form, expression. And it's going to be entertainment that knows no bounds or genres. And also, I thought it was kind of interesting. So Morgan Wallen appeared on Saturday Night Live. He was hosting it with he's a musical guest, and the host was Mikey Madison, which I have no idea who Mikey Madison is. Does anyone know? Is she an actress? I'm not sure. I've literally never seen this person before in my life. Mikey Madison. She must be famous. First of all, this isn't like me crapping on whoever Mikey Madison is. They're clearly famous enough that they're hosting SNL. I'm the one that's a Dumbo here and doesn't know who Mikey Madison is. Let's look her up in case, I don't want to leave anyone else hanging that's listening that might be driving and doesn't have the opportunity to, look it up. Okay, so she's an actress. She's won the Oscar for Best Actress in 2025. So that's pretty cool, right? She was in the FX series Better Things. She was in Scream 2022. Didn't see that. She was on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Didn't see that. All right. Anora. She was in Anora, which I guess that won the Oscar. So, okay. She's doing well. She's famous enough to be hosting SNL. So anyway, Mikey Madison is hosting. Morgan Wallen's the musical guest. And at the end...
Thank you so much to Morgan Wallen. I had a wonderful time. Thank you all.
All right, so they're clapping. Morgan Wallen hugs Mikey Madison. And then he jets. He just walks right up the front of the stage. At the end of SNL, obviously, everyone's clapping, hugging. Oh, we're going to get drinks later? Oh, that sketch was so funny, blah, blah, blah. But Morgan Wallen is like, see ya. And he pieces out. He just walks right off front, off the front of the stage. Which was also a weird move. To walk off the front of the stage, like in the camera's view, he could have just walked off the side of the stage, but he like was he heading for a specific door at this point? Just right out the front of the stage. And then posted a couple hours later on his Instagram this picture of a plane that said, "Get me to God's country," wherever that is. Now, obviously, Morgan Wallen has had a little bit of a story past with SNL. He was supposed to be a guest on there a number of years ago during the pandemic. Then he got busted not following protocol, pandemic guidelines, and a few other things. So he was removed as a musical guest. But then I believe he came back and also was a musical guest after that. They brought him back. They let him have another chance at it. And that was fine. But apparently this one, and this whole performance and everything went as normal as it can. It wasn't until the ending when he walked off stage that people started freaking out. Now, according to sources, inside sources close to Morgan Wallen's camp, he says, according to Variety, sources in Wallen's camp said that it has nothing to do with the singer having any tension with SNL. He said they maintain that it was a good time and him leaving was no slight. It was not intended to be a negative thing. And his Instagram post after that, it was not connected. He was not trying to be a dick, essentially, by walking off. Not sure why he walked off, but he walked off. All right, I promised you a Q&A, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and dig through my DMs and burn through my comments. Gonna answer everything you wanna know. I should get Rob Zombie to sing the Q&A song for me. That'd be cool. All right, this one comes from Cornelius Does Vocals. I hope you do, Cornelius. He says, do you feel like people are more negative or try to be more critical of music now? And I'm not sure if you mean like as far as reviewers or just people in general. Because I think people in general have always been kind of negative a-holes, whether the internet's there or not. It's just the internet kind of amplifies it. People always have opinions, very strong opinions about everything. And unfortunately, the people with positive opinions who are more optimistic don't tend to put those opinions out there in the world as much as the people with the negative opinions. And of course, the negativity just gets more clicks. Unfortunately, people want to watch stuff that is negative people want to see somebody, crap on something they like rather than see somebody, support what they like. It's a very weird thing that people do on the internet. I personally, I don't know. I don't talk about music that I hate. There's really not much music I do hate. I don't even if I don't like something, I'm talking about it because I'm talking about, a music news story that is something that's, a big story that I need to, speak about. And even if it's not something I like or listen to, I don't crap on it. I don't say anything negative about it because what good does that do? I try to be biased as possible, really. I just try to put the information out there and tell me, you tell me what you think, if you like it or not. And I don't know if it's more negative than it used to be, or if it's just, amplified with, the internet, obviously. How did you get your start on Octane? Penn State Mike wants to know. You're one of my favorite hosts. Well, thank you, Penn State Mike. I got my start, just as anyone did, in the dawn of the golden age of radio. I started on AM radio back in the 50s. No, actually, Octane found me. They found me on TikTok and Instagram doing my thing. My charismatic voice and my personality just shine through. And yeah, Octane found me, reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a host on the station. It's really, I wish it was more glamorous than that. I wish it was like I went through some kind of like contest, let's say kind of like radio host contest where I had to compete against like 25 other radio show hosts on some kind of desert island. And they like, I only had like a couple sticks and a bundle of matches and some like, one canteen of water. And I had to forage and make a listenable radio show out of that. But that was not the case. I literally just made content on social media, built up a following, and they asked me if I want to be on it. If you had your choice of 4 band members to fight off several waves of angry beavers, who are your picks? That question comes from Casually J 759. That's a good question, Casually J 759. If you had a choice of 4 band members to fight off several waves of angry beavers, who are your picks? I like that there's not just one wave of angry beavers in your scenario. There's several waves of angry beavers. I mean, I feel like one wave of angry beavers, that's enough to, contend with. But all right, so I've got 4 band members to choose from here. So I'm gonna need some muscle. First of all, if I'm assembling some sort of like rock and roll Avengers situation to fight off beavers, I'm gonna need people who have specific skill sets in each field. So first of all, I'm gonna need some muscle. All right, I'm gonna go with Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail. He's a big guy. He fights bears already. He's already fighting bears. If he can fight a bear, then I'm pretty sure he can handle a beaver. And probably a whole wave of beavers. He could probably take on the first wave on his own, So he'll take on that first wave of beavers. But after that, he's going to be tired. So I'm going to need somebody with some smarts, I'm going to need somebody more clever, some brains. I'm going to need some brains on the team to take that not that, first of all, I'm not saying Alex isn't smart. I'm just saying after he's all tired from fighting off the first wave of beavers, the second wave, we're going to use some ingenuity here. I'm going to grab, I think, Rivers Cuomo from Weezer. He went to Harvard. He's a smart guy. I feel like he could probably set some really wicked beaver traps to catch these things. So, Rivers Cuomo. Third, I feel like for the third wave, I'm going to get somebody wise. I want somebody who's been around for a while and knows his way around animals in general. Maybe he just has a way with them. He can, kind of get on their level. And also just I want someone who's an elder statesman of rock and roll who has the legacy to probably command respect from the Beavers possibly. So I'm going to go with Ozzy Osbourne. I'm going to get Ozzy Osbourne in there on my team. I think he is he is my Professor Xavier in this situation. He's the one that's really I'm really crossing comic genres here. I'm sorry, I don't know very much about comics and superheroes, but other than what my son watches from time to time. So yeah, he's going to be my older statesman here that can hopefully guide us in the right direction if we start to go awry. And for number 4, if there's a fourth wave, I need a fourth person. I'm gonna get somebody that kind of looks like a beaver, because this is gonna be my last ditch effort. Alex and Rivers are all tapped out. Ozzy's tapped out. I got one more wave of beavers to contend with. So I'm going to get somebody who I guess it kind of resembles a beaver a little bit, has beaver-like qualities and can maybe blend in with them and get the beavers to see oh, maybe Jesea Lee Show isn't so bad. Maybe we should listen more and stop trying to, break down his dam, So, I mean, Brian Johnson from AC/DC, has he got beaver qualities? It says Bon Jovi looks like a beaver. I don't know. I think Bon Jovi's a pretty handsome man. I wouldn't say he's a beaver, but yeah, we'll throw John Bon Jovi, Mr. John Bon Jovi himself, Join Bon Jovi himself, to get the beavers on my side. All right. Wow. I think we spent more time talking about the beaver attacks than anything else today. Look at the Hunter's Junk on Instagram. Which, first of all, I thought this username was Look at the Hunk's Junk, which would have been an infinitely better name. I'm sorry. Look at the Hunter's Junk. It's still good, but come on. Look at the Hunk's Junk. It's right there for you. Anyway, he said, how do you feel about fans of yours coming up and asking you for attention in public? Well, when I get some fans, I'll let you know. Actually, no. If you want to get a picture, you want to say hi, if you see me at a show, please do. Also, please buy me lots of stuff, lots of drinks and nachos. And I will very much appreciate that. Last question here coming from JJ Swindle. Sad Summer Fest is not happening this year. Is it because Warped Tour is overshadowing? So if you have not seen this, I'm going to bring up the post here real quick. Sad Summer Fest is not coming back, unfortunately. The Sad Summer Fest made a post saying, when Sad Summer began, our goal was to make it through one summer and do something special for fans at a time when our scene needed us. Yet, here we are nearly 7 years later with 5 amazing tours under our belt. They had to cancel one of the tours because of COVID, unfortunately. And watching the artists we love thrive in all over the globe in new places that we never... Man, first of all, white text on a pink background is very hard to see, guys. This is very hard to read. Anyway, with that said, we have decided to take 2025 off and finally catch our breath. However, we have already begun discussions for what is next, and we cannot wait to resurface when the time is right. Until then, please go out and support all your favorite artists and tours and festivals this summer, and let's keep the flame burning together. Sad summer. So yeah, no sad summer this year. A sad summer indeed. But no, I don't think Sad Summer canceled because Warped Tour overshadowed them. First of all, Warped Tour is only 3 dates this year. It's 6 dates in 3 different cities. So I don't think that's enough to take away from any of the artists playing Sad Summer. If anything, I feel like the artists that were playing Sad Summer, if they were also doing Warped Tour, could easily, work that routing together. Warped Tour founder Kevin Lyman also has another festival, summer festival called Summer School Festival. I'm sure you've seen Summer School Festival. Last year was headlined by Scene Queen, and then they also had Magnolia Park on there, the Home Team, Honey Revenge. I do Let Down. I went out there to that festival, interviewed all those bands. Great. It was a great time. I don't know if you know that or not, but Kevin Lyman, founder of Warped Tour, is involved with it. Also, so is Hopeless Records and a few other big wigs. But I feel like, if anything, maybe Summer School could possibly conflict with it, because that's more of a longer form tour, and it's also in that pop punk emo world. But again, I don't think that's the case. Sad Summer had some legitimate acts on it. Mayday Parade headlined. There's been a lot of big bands that play Sad Summer in the past years, so I don't think that there was any kind of like conflict with any other tours. I think maybe just as the statement says, sometimes, we got to take these festivals and these artists, we got to take them at face value. All right. They say, hey, we're canceling because we need to take our breath. We need to catch our breath from being awesome for the last 7 years. And maybe that's all they're doing. So hopefully they'll be back next year. And I want to catch my breath after being awesome all this time. I've had a great time hanging out with you, chatting here on the Jesea Lee Show. I hope you found this new format good and entertaining. I hope you like it. If not, your expectations were probably too high. All right. And that's really on you, unfortunately. So I'm going to play us out here. Make sure to please find that like button, find that subscribe button, find that follow button, and bang your head on that follow button. All right. It does not count if you simply tap it. You must bang your head. And you can also find me at Jesea Lee on TikTok and Instagram, and at Jesea Lee Show on X, if that's your thing. All right. I will see you next week. We're going to do this. We're going to do this every week. All right. If this doesn't come back next week, it's gone for good. No more breaks, baby. All right. We're all gas. No breaks on the Jesea Lee Show. Oh, the Jesea Lee Show. Oh. Well, I'm telling you, it's not. This is it. You got a good time on the Jesea Lee Show. Oh.